For those of you who don't know who Grian is, he makes some pretty beautiful things, from mansions through to houses to towns, and he even has a thing where he transforms the naturally spawning structures in Minecraft to make them even better looking. I think it's safe to say that he's a pretty talented guy. So today we're going to be killing him, and then we're going to cut him open, and we're going to see what's going on inside. So here is Grian in all of his glory, and as you can probably see, he has got a lot of things going on the inside of him. So I think we should probably start things off with the most important zone of Grian's body, which is this thing right here. This is Grian's Redstone Cortex. This is it. I mean, there's not too much going on right here. It's not the biggest Redstone Cortex in the world, but it is definitely there in his brain. But then we should probably move on to like the main part, which is actually how Grian is controlled as a human being. As we know, he is currently in Japan, and for those of you who follow him on Twitter, you will know that he is on the hunt for Shiba Inus, and that is because Grian is actually controlled by a bunch of Shibas. Now, this is a little known fact about Grian, but this small crew right here is what powers his entire body. Now, just underneath those guys, we have got this rather large circuit right here. Now, this is what is known as the transformer scopes. Now, Grian doesn't actually see like we normally do. You know, we can actually take in information from around us. Not only can he do that, but he can also see things in different styles. So when we hit this button right here, you can see that the block that is in front of his eyes actually changes, allowing him to see it in a different style. So for example, we hit this button and that will actually push cobblestone in front of his eye, which means that he will then see the build in front of him transformed into cobblestone, which means that, well, the whole building process is considerably faster, because someone like me, they have to come along, they have to reconstruct the entire thing, do a bunch of building and make it look good with cobblestone. Grian doesn't have to do that. See, now it's a spruce wood house, and then you hit the button again and you've got yourself a different coloured house. I mean, I am sure that is incredibly helpful for the building process. Now, a lot of Grian's builds involve different types of leaves, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to choose what type of leaf to use, so he has this system right here which allows him to toggle his leaf choosers. So we have got the birch leaves, and then you flick this lever, and we have got the acacia leaves. He can choose dark oak leaves if he really wants to, and he can switch these on and off as he chooses, which will make the whole ruining process just simpler and faster, because, you know, you don't want to be faffing around with those kind of details. Each one of his arms has got a very specific purpose. His right arm is actually his Minecraft building arm. So this is the arm that does all of the block placing, but it doesn't just place blocks. That would be really boring. What it does is it sends a block out through his body. So a block travels through his body and it goes through a triple cleaning process. You can see it traveling through all of the water right there. Now, the reason for this is of course, Grian is a bit of a perfectionist. He wants his builds to be the best possible builds, and he wants to make sure that every single block involved is the best possible version of that block. So he makes sure that they're triply cleaned before they even end up in the world, which is pretty interesting. I didn't realise that was a thing. But if we move on to his left arm, let's just say that the left arm, well, it's not quite as precise. In the centre there, I don't know if you can quite recognise it because it's surrounded by bones and things, but we have got Elmo. We have got the Elmo that was produced in the Drawing Random Things from Memory Badly video. Now, my theory is that drawing was so horrific and so atrocious that it actually infected Grian's drawing arm, and it's made his way into Grian's anatomy. But if we activate this thing, you can see that it still works. That pencil is still making its way to paper. It's been slightly infected by Elmo, so now all of the drawings come out completely insane. For those of you who don't know, Grian really hates it if you build a house out of precious blocks, for example, diamonds or gold or emeralds. And to a certain extent, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I love the emerald block. I think it's an awesome looking texture. But when I see an entire house built out of it, I do kind of have to scratch my head a little bit. But that said, I don't think I hate it quite as much as Grian. He actually has a part of his body dedicated to exploding diamond houses. As you can see, the TNT is dropped in and it explodes. It doesn't cause any damage, and that's because he doesn't want it to disappear. Instead, he wants to be able to keep blowing it up with the TNT. I mean, you know, I've heard of hating things, but that's something else. But I would say I've saved the best till last. Down in his legs, he has got something incredibly impressive. As we know, Grian does enjoy skiing, and he recently went on a skiing holiday, And after that, I imagine it was after that, he must have had some form of leg transplant, removing all of the bones in his legs and installing pop-out skis. So he now has skis that he can deploy out the bottom of his feet. A bit like Wolverine, just the kind of ski version. If we hit this button right here, you can see that they travel down, and he has got himself some skis. Now, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't tested this out before I pressed that button, and that is far, far funnier than I was expecting. So there we go. There are the baby little skis. I mean, they're not the biggest things in the world, but obviously you can only put them in the bottom half of your leg, otherwise you won't be able to bend your legs, which that's completely pointless. So there we go. They popped out the bottom, and now he can hit the slopes in style, and obviously once he's finished, he can retract them back away into his legs. I mean, that's fantastic. That is absolutely brilliant in every single way. So there we go. If you were wondering what happens inside Grian's body and his mind, then hopefully this has everything answered for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Also, check out my latest film. It was really, really fun to create. I'm personally quite proud of it, and it will be on the end screen.